For a long time in my homesteading journey, I longed to see many things in my home. I had watched many homesteaders, and my view of homesteading was shaped by what I saw. I saw people preserving food, and it was my desire. I wanted to see my home with a pantry full of stocked foods. I watched videos of canning and learned as much as I could learn. But after learning all that much, when I wanted to try what canning is actually, I couldn't access canning jars because being in the tropics, canning is not something we do a lot. I think it's because there has always been food available in all seasons. So we've not ventured so deeply into the canning. So getting canning jars where I was too expensive that even if I said let me ship them in, the cost would just break me. And then I was thinking maybe I could dehydrate instead of canning. But then I didn't have a dehydrator. Thinking of dehydrating with an oven, it is also not as easy because the cost of the power is not that cheap. So after thinking, I was like, maybe the one thing I've always seen people do in my country is garden. We can garden. I can do some gardening. But the kind of gardening that I grew up seeing at that time wasn't appealing to me. I was attracted more to gardening like people maybe in the US, raised beds and, these all well organized vertical gardens. But I couldn't afford those things. So I ended up being frustrated because everywhere I turned, I could not get a breakthrough. And this homesteading idea seemed to be for a particular group of people. People were talking about homesteading on a budget, but what they called homesteading on a budget for me would be like homesteading, like living in abundance. So I was discouraged, but deep inside me was a strong sense that this homesteading thing is not just for a few. And then it dawned onto me that homesteading is not necessarily what you do, it is a mindset, a determination to achieve a certain level of self sustenance. No one can completely be self sufficient because no one is an island. You'll need one thing or two from the other person. If you can grow all your food, you cannot make all your clothes. So you are not completely self sufficient. The degree of self sufficiency differs from one person to another, and that is okay. As long as you strive to attain a certain level and keep growing, you are on this journey of homesteading. As long as you are determined not to be just a consumer, but also a producer of what you consume, this is what homesteading is about. If you can grow 3 plants of lettuce, or raise just one chicken in your backyard, or make your vinegar, or make your soap, or you can cook from scratch, whatever aspect of homesteading that you think that you can incorporate in your home. The issue is not how much you have or how much you do not have, but what do you do with even the little that you have. When I got to know this, I was revived. My desire to do this homesteading thing was renewed. It was rekindled, and I decided to begin taking even the small steps that I may look at as baby steps. And so I started looking around me and looking at things I could do. I learned that I can homestead my way. I can do homestead not like I've seen it being done anywhere, but maybe even the way we do it here in my country where I live. So I've started looking at things with a different lens. And when I went to the rural area, I looked at the gardening style that I was despising, and I saw the very principles of homesteading incorporated there. I saw banana plantations that are well mulched to preserve the water in the soil. I saw gardens that are intercropped. You would see banana plantations, you see different herbs. Maybe not the herbs that I was used to seeing on the internet, because at that time I was looking at what people in the other country grow. But when I looked with a new lens now, I could see that we may not grow as much mint as people out there grow, or as much or oregano, but with their herbs that are native in our land that people have grown. And maybe if I could do that, that would be easier on me. I looked at the way people were growing gardens of maize, and I was so encouraged and to keep going on this journey. And I looked at now opportunities. Instead of despising it, I looked at opportunities of improving these gardens. Maybe I could use more space. Maybe I could incorporate more vegetables, which we used not to grow a lot. This is how we do it here in Uganda, not how they do it over there. So even you look around your nation, you may not do homesteading. You don't have to do homesteading the way so and so does it, the way it is done in this country. It could be different, and it may be different even for your home in your very nation. Don't overthink what you have to do. What you can do, get your hands to do it, and go ahead and do that. There is such an abundance around each one of us. Each one of us. Just ask God to open your eyes that you may see that abundance and tap into it without overthinking it and keeping it simple. Take one step at a time. That magnificent homestead you're dreaming about will come your way if you keep moving one step at a time. So don't lose heart until we meet in the next video. Keep tapping into that abundance, and God bless you.